guys? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you guys are here. Today, I want to talk about what I think is probably the best value OTF I've run across. But before I get started, I want to say thank you to the channel members. Thank you all so much. Your support means everything to me. And thank you for anybody who comes in to watch my knife, my EDC content. I appreciate you. I'm glad you're here. If you haven't had a chance and you're so inclined, if you do hit that subscribe and that bell notification icon, it really helps me out. So this is a knife I ordered off Maxace's website after seeing a review from Metal Complex talking about it. It is a full-size OTF made by Maxace, who, as you guys know from my videos, I've got several Maxace and I'm a big fan. But this knife was unique in that it is 70-75 aluminum. You've got this nice recessed grip. You got a little bit of a glass breaker, but that can be removed because the pocket clip is as good of a OTF or automatic knife pocket clip as I've ever used, but it's easily reversible. And you've got this is the Neptune, by the way, and it's the actual model XO4A. They've got 3 models that were available and will be available again. One of them is a double-sided dagger. One of them is a dagger with partial serrations. And then you've got this one that is a drop point. And it is in a blade steel that I've never been familiar with, but I have researched some. It is SLD-magic, which is, from what I understand, a kitchen knife steel. It's kind of done in a San Mai wrap way here. What I can tell you about this knife is that A, it's full size. It is extremely well made. It is very sharp. And the value on the knife is, I think, unmatched by anything I've ever seen. Have I seen OTFs this price? I have. Have I seen quality OTFs this price? Absolutely not. And this, guys, is one of the sliciest knives that doesn't look like it has the best cutting geometry. But when you look at it, which we'll do now, look at that blade, the way that it's designed. You're starting with what looks like really thin blade stock, or not, pretty thin blade stock. And then you've got this probably 3/4 inch flat grind here. You've got this compound ground. They call it a drop point, but I almost look at it like a Tonto tip. Very, very little side to side. Absolutely no up and down. The only downside of this knife, and it's really my thumb, I have a hard time with the shortness of my thumb retracting it with one hand. I have to use the side of my thumb. I can deploy it with no problem, but then I've just got to use the side of my thumb to pull it back in. But a fantastic knife. Has a nice sharpening choil. Not that I look at that for an OTF. Has a very nice swedge. Its lockup and its speed and spring strength is fantastic. And you've got some natural contouring or jimping here, grip on the handle, and then you've got these inset kind of grip tape panels, which at first I was concerned that it might affect it going in and out of the pocket, but it doesn't, because this aluminum, the smooth aluminum, is raised up a good bit higher. So where I can feel it in my grip, and it makes it, of course, much more than a slick aluminum knife, it is not going to intrude or rip up your pockets. So let's do a couple of quick size comparisons against this guy, and we'll see that it is a full-size knife. Look at it next to our Satu Dave Hollow Ground 4MAX and our Civivi Baby Banter, and we'll see that it is much closer to the size of the 4MAX than the Baby Banter. And I have a feeling it is going to come in larger. I know it's going to come in larger than our bug out by a lot. And I think it's going to come in larger than our PM2, which it does. I'm not taking it back to the glass breaker, I'm just taking it to the back of the handle, but it's going to be shorter or longer than both the PM2 and the Benchmade bug out. So far the closest to it is the 4MAX. So if we look at it next to my only other OTF, my little Pulse OTF by EMP EDC. I love this knife too. It's a good bit smaller. It fits a good gap in a knife that gives me more of a smaller EDC knife and a full size. So if we look at it next to a couple of other automatics, that is my Protect Strider SNG, and I think it's going to be close to the same size as, nope, it's going to be bigger than the Magic Whiskers 2 by just a hair. Nah, pretty close to the Magic Whiskers 2. I'm going to say it's pretty close to the Magic Whiskers 2, but we will go ahead and get some dimensions on it, get a weight, pick our Javon promotional Amazon tape measure. I'm not going to measure first, I'm just going to measure from the body. So you're at 8 3/4 inches. If I break it back, it's a 9-inch knife, over 9 inches from the glass breaker. From the back of the handle, it is every bit 8 3/4 inches with a, we're going to call it, I'm going to go back to where the blade starts, 3 3/4 inch blade from right here, and a very generous 5-inch handle. So from here to here is 5 inches, which you guys can see in my medium to large size hand. Anybody's mitts could get around that. It is a full size knife. Get a couple of thicknesses just for S&Gs because we can. I'll go to the thickest part of this blade stock, which is down here, and it is 0.1285. I'm guessing we got a little bit of a 1/2 inch handle. 0.5475, and the height is a little over an inch, 1.09. Thickness behind the edge, which I'm not ever good at getting that accurately. Let's see how close I can get. 0.0215, something like that. So yeah, guys, that is the Maxace Neptune. It is in 7075 aluminum. It is SLD-magic steel, heat treated at 60 HRC, according to Maxace. It clocks in with a 3 3/4 inch blade at right at 4.85 ounces, which to me, that is absolutely acceptable. It carries great in the pocket. I've had it in my pocket non-stop. I've used it. I thought the spring might break in a little bit, but I think it's just the way that my thumb doesn't pull that well. So I just can't pull as much directly back as I can when I loop around it. So I've been opening it and fidgeting it with it like that. But guys, the punchline to this knife, or I should say the thing that made me buy another out the front and wait over a month for as it got stuck in customs, was this knife in, like you see it here, $108. 108. So less than $120 shipped, I want to say. And you know, I've had some OTFs when I was first getting in the knife game that might have been $100, but they were always having to be reset. They were cheap. They were they did not feel solid. They did not feel like this feels. They surely didn't cut like this cut. And I realize that the blade steel is probably a lesser quality blade steel, but when I did some research online, which I urge you guys to do a little Google on SLD-magic, I think it's a fine steel for an out the front knife like this that I'm going to use for an EDC knife or, God forbid, a Slurpee saver. Great clip, fully reversible, very neutral handle. I think it's a beautiful blade. If you're a dagger kind of guy or gal, the serrated and the regular dagger point are great looking. I mean, I'm just not a dagger guy. I'm a EDC knife guy, but I would go to their website, take a look. They are out of stock right now, but like Maxace does, they will bring things back into stock. There's another OTF on their site, MagnaCut. Don't get confused with it. It's titanium and some other stuff. It's in the $250 range. Still a great price on a very high quality knife. But when I look at this compared to Microtech, Axial, Heretic, some of the others, for $108, guys, this knife's no slouch. I wanted to bring it to you. I wanted to share it with you guys. I told you I'd get you kind of an update after I carried it for a while. I thought the opening and closing was going to be problematic and kind of be a detractor until I learned the thumb side, that I've got the strength this way. It's just something about this way. I'm a huge fan of this knife, guys, and I'm not a full-size knife guy, but I think because it's angular and small in the handle, still kind of gentlemanly, fully deep carry where that's all you've got coming out of your pocket right here. The glass breaker doesn't bother me. I'm sure I could replace that with a regular screw that size, but this is the Maxace Neptune, $108. Fantastic knife in my opinion, and I'm not an out the front guy. But guys, thank you for all the support, for coming in and watching the content. If you haven't had a chance and are so inclined, for hitting that subscribe button. That helps me out. Most importantly, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please be up, go forward with love in your heart, and always, when possible, choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.